Another edition of the Coach and the Scribe with Jess Quinn and Chris Rossetti. I'm Chris Rossetti. This is Jess Quinn. We're brought to you by the Rehab Center with 6 locations, including locations in Clarion, Brookville, and Katanning. Give them a call today at 724-478-1501. Check them out online at therehabcenters.com. That center's the old English way, R-E. Anyhow, we appreciate the Rehab Center, Chiropractors for Health, giving us the opportunity to bring you this show every week. And Jess, we saw a heck of a basketball game here tonight. Red Bank Valley took the first quarter lead, 19-15. They were still up, I think it was 25-21. And then before you knew it, it was double digits for North Clarion again. It's just workmanlike, as we talked about last week.
It really is. You know, we had that conversation last week. They had the conversation tonight. Red Bank had the lead. Then all of a sudden, you look up, and quietly, it's a 10-point lead, it's a 12-point lead, it's a 15-point lead, and it wasn't super flashy. North Clarion comes down, they work the ball well, they're patient with the basketball, they end up with a 3, or they work it down low for a 2, but it's workman-like quality. I mean, they put their hard hats on, and they go to work.
Red Bank Valley early on was able to get North Clarion to play the style of basketball they wanted to play. Then North Clarion turned it around, was a little bit more patient. Then when they got the 23-point lead, they got kind of back into a track meet, which really seemed to benefit Red Bank Valley to some extent.
It really does, and if you look at it, is a game of quarters. I mean, Red Bank pushed the ball with Hindeleiter, with Smith, and Huffman, and they really played well in that transition game. But if you look at what North Clarion did when they slowed the ball down, they were able to move the ball, work it against Red Bank's zone, and really, take advantage of the holes in that zone. But when they got into the track meet, that's when they got in trouble. And North Clarion can play that game, but not against a very good and athletic Red Bank Valley team.
Taylor Hindeleiter showing her skill set, 28 points tonight. Lauren Smith, especially in the first half, was really able to get to the rim a lot. In the second half, they seemed to be calling her for walking a little bit more. Did you see her change anything that she was doing?
It seemed pretty consistent to me. I won't say it was the Euro step, but it was kind of a version of it, and it looked pretty good. There were a couple times, down low, there were some bodies in the way, so maybe I missed a step, but she attacks the rim really, really well. But looking at Hindeleiter, I mean, you want to talk about really stepping up in a big game. When she has the ball in her hands, she is dynamite, and she's very, very athletic. And I think that will bode well in the future with Red Bank moving forward.
No question. They've still got some young players who are learning some things, and tonight was one of those opportunities for them to maybe learn something in a loss. For North Clarion, opportunity to maybe learn some things in a win. They hadn't been in very many close games, especially not high-tempo close games like tonight. So there's some things both teams, I think, are going to take from this. As they head into the second half of the KSAC schedules, I think North Clarion is a foregone conclusion, minus something really strange that they're going to win the North. Keystone's still in a battle for that South. They lost to, the Red Bank is in a battle with Keystone for that South. They lost to Keystone early in the year. They've got to play them again down at their place on February 4th. And that's probably going to be the game that decides who wins the KSAC South, as they're both sitting at one loss, as Keystone tripped up against Cranberry there right around Christmas, or right after Christmas. And so does Red Bank have enough to win that South and get a rematch of this game?
I was thinking that as I'm watching this game and it's unfolding, I'm thinking, could this be a rematch? It's exactly what I was thinking. And, it'll depend on the style that Red Bank really wants to play. If they really want to push that pace and really want to really run teams out of gyms, I think that they could be there. I really do. I mean, they have great ball handlers. They score well. They move well in transition. And I think that right now, that's a very good basketball team, and could very well be a rematch.
I think it all is going to come down to who gets to play their style of game. Keystone's going to want to slow it down, and they were able to do that the first time they played Red Bank. If they're able to do that the second time, then I think they can win and take that South. If Red Bank can play this up-tempo game against Keystone, I think that they're going to prevail in all of that. Shout out to Elk County Catholic girls last night. Already have clinched the AML North title, spot in the semifinals now there. DuBois Central Catholic with a big win tonight against Brockway. It's been a scrappy Brockway team, but DuBois Central was able to get an early lead in that game. And, that's a scary team to play, that Central team. Their record isn't one that blows you away, but they've been in a lot of basketball games and they seem to be winning a lot of games in conference. And it'll be interesting to see if they go to the postseason, because it seems like every time they get an opportunity to play a good team, they really rise their game level. So that'll be interesting.
It really will, and especially you look at some of those teams that you mentioned. You look at Brockway. You look at some of those teams, DCC, that has been in a lot of close games. You look at their record and you think, oh, okay, well, they're just hovering around 500 or somewhere in there. But then if you look more specifically at the scores, they're in a lot of games and they'll start winning some of those games. So it could really get interesting here come playoff time.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teams in Class A, once you get past North Clarion, who I think is the favorite in Class A, who create some different matchups for each other. Elk County Catholic, Du Bois Central, Union, which a big win last night against Cranberry, all bring that up. But hey, Jess, this Friday, we're going to be at a doubleheader. It's a big game, Hoops for Hopes game at Clarion High School. Speaking of Hoops of Hopes, I got to mention this real quick.
Sure.
The Du Bois girls and the Brockway girls played their annual pink game. They've played these now 10 years between the two schools. They alternate. Last night, they donated $15,500, a little bit over $15,500, $15,500 I think it was, or $14,500 to the Hahn Cancer Center. It's really unbelievable. A lot of schools do these, and a lot of schools do a great job of raising a couple $1,000s, which is fantastic.
It is.
What they do between Du Bois and Brockway is just mind-blowing stuff. And I need to shout out to both of those school districts, because it's just really incredible what they're doing.
It really is. And you look at the cause, what Friday night's games are going to be about. You look at, what they always do year in and year out. I've been very, very fortunate, as the coach at Clarion the last 4 years to be a part of that. Here in the KSAC, I know looking at what Brockway has done is just phenomenal, what they have been able to put together and donate to such a worthy cause. I mean, you see on Friday when the players come out and then people come down out of the stands and join the players, join the coaches. It is just, it's touching, it's heartwarming, because we all know so many people that have struggled, who have lost that struggle with cancer, in any little part that anybody can do, especially in an atmosphere that we have with high school players. It's just incredible. It's phenomenal. And I just was very fortunate for the last 4 years to be able to be a part of it.
Remember, if you're a cancer survivor, you get in free on Friday night at the Clarion Keystone doubleheader. Girls game starts at 6:30. They're going to have junior high starting as early as 3:15, followed by junior varsity. I don't know if Clarion's got a junior varsity team this week or not. I know last week they didn't. So
I talked to Coach Walter today. They're going to try. They'll have 2 girls that definitely won't play. They'll have 2 girls that will play just JV, and then they'll have a mix. He doesn't want to cancel the season. He doesn't want to do that. So right now, I know that they were going to have a JV game tonight.
So you'll have those JV games, and then followed by the girls varsity at 6:30. Our air time will be about 6 o'clock, 6:05, somewhere in there. And then we'll have the boys game following that around 8 o'clock. Once again, shout out to the Rehab Center for sponsoring the Coach and the Scribe. Call the Rehab Center today at 724-478-1501.